You know, when I look around at all the entrepreneurs who are grinding it out, spending 70 to 80 hours per week growing their business, you have to ask yourself the question, at what cost? Hi, my name's Tim Uchuk, and in this podcast, we're going to be exploring the tools, tactics, and strategies for crushing it and scaling your business without making the ultimate sacrifice of your time and freedom. Hey, what's up everyone? Tim Uchuk here, and if I sound like I'm a little bit out of breath, because I just finished running up a hill, just on my way home, last part of the run, thought I would record a quick podcast episode for you guys. Given it is currently the end of a quarter, we're starting a new quarter, and I wanted to let you guys in, give you a little glimpse on how we decide what to work on in our business, what to prioritize, how to think about that. Because I would imagine in your business, there's so many moving parts, and the common trap that we fall into is giving everything a priority, which means we're, again, spreading ourselves a mile wide, going in every direction, and what do you think happens at the end of the quarter? And so we go through an exercise where we isolate what is most important, we prioritize it, and we put everything on the back burner. Now, that's not to say that we're rigid and unchanging, because over the course of 3 months, things can change, and there's precedence for that as well. But the important thing is really to decipher what is the most essential in your business. And so I want to give you 4 categories. I call them the 4 C's, in terms of areas or buckets in your business that you can think about where you need to move the needle over the next quarter. And the 4 C's, I'll just go through them quickly. Number 1, and this applies to any business, is capabilities. So for example, let's say in your business currently, let's say you're selling something. So we did this actually about 6 months ago. We said, you know what? We should start selling on Amazon, because that's a channel that we're not even taking advantage of right now. First thing we said was, we don't have that capability. Nobody here knows how to do it. So that was a capability that we had to acquire, and we acquired it by finding an expert to work with to help us set up our store and get everything running into the warehouse and everything. So that was an example of a capability. So capabilities could be training, could be acquiring skills, training your staff or training yourself, acquiring skills, outsourcing, and acquiring a capability. That's the first C. Second C is campaigns. And these should be ongoing in any business, because that's the lifeblood cash of your company. So a campaign could be, now depending on where you're weak, right? This is where you'd want to focus, is where you need to strengthen. So let's say that your lead gen, you don't have any lead generation system. Well, that's a campaign that you could develop and create and focus on. That'd be a campaign. Another one would be, let's say that you don't have a referral program in place, or a lot of a win-back campaign for dormant customers. All of these different areas are campaigns where you've got holes in your bucket, and there are opportunities that you're just leaving money on the table. So campaigns is the second C. Capacity is the third C. And so capacity is, where are some inefficiencies or waste or redundancies, where things are being done really, again, inefficiently. Where's there waste in your organization or operation? Is there a software implementation that needs to be done because you're not taking good advantage of automation? So capacity is another one. And if you can improve your capacity, again, that goes right to your bottom line, obviously, right? You're not doing things inefficiently. And then the fourth, which is quite common, is cleanups. So what are messes that need to be cleaned up? Could be in your realm, could be in a departmental realm, could be organizationally wide, and it could be physical or digital. So are there digital messes where your folders are not structured properly and it's a disaster? That would be a cleanup. Or physically in your office space, you might not have a good filing system physically. Or, if you've got a brick and mortar, maybe you've got nowhere to put brochures and business cards, and your front reception is a mess. That could be a mess to be cleaned up. And so those are the 4 C's. Again, There's different ways of interpreting them, and I'll go over them once again, but they're really just to get the brain going into the 4 kind of key buckets where you can improve in your business. And they are: capacity is one of them, campaigns is another. So capacity, again, eliminating waste, eliminating and improving efficiency. Campaigns is, whether it's lead gen, whether it's conversion, whether it's a win-back campaign, whether it's an upsell or reselling or creating a referral program in your business. That's campaign. Capabilities, which I think I had number 1 here. Capabilities, of course, it's training, upping your skills, acquiring a skill set that you guys don't have, that you need in order to move forward. That's capability, which is a big one for a lot of businesses who are still stuck doing things the old way because they're slowly acknowledging that the world is changing and how we do business is changing rapidly. I mean, we're still humans, but if you're able to leverage, things like Facebook ads and automation nowadays, it's the equivalent of having one fishing rod out of a dinghy in the water versus competing against a fleet of fishing vessels with wide trap lines and nets. In the long run, you can't compete. So we're going to have to buck up and make those changes and acquire those capabilities eventually. And if you don't have them, there's an old saying which goes, find your who instead of focusing on the how. So find the who, not how. And that just means find the person instead of trying to figure everything out yourself. And where were we here? Sorry, at the tail end of a run. We were at capacity, capability, campaigns, and cleanup. So any messes that need to be cleaned up in your life and your business. And those are the 4 C's. Those are 4 great buckets for stimulating the areas that you should be working on and focusing on over the next quarter. And another question that we ask is, within these buckets is, we go around the room and we ask everyone, assuming that the next 90 days has passed, what has to have happened? What has to have happened 90 days from now? So we assume that it's already happened, and it gets the brain really humming along and gets the creativity muscle strengthened. And we use those 4 buckets. That's our exercise. That's it. And then an important note, when you come up with projects and areas of focus over the next quarter, make them measurable. And this is what we do, by the way, in our coaching program, is we've got a process where we reverse engineer and make these things extremely measurable, easy to track week over week, and distributing ownership so everybody knows what role they're playing over the quarter, which is extremely helpful. If you're interested, you'll see after this podcast, there's a link for some training on that. But if you're planning right now, I highly recommend the 4 C's. Hope that's useful, guys, and I will finish my run here. Talk to you guys soon. Hey, Tim Uchuk here, and real quick, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, if you could take a couple quick seconds to give it a rating, it would be very much appreciated. And secondly, if you're looking for more tools and strategies on how you can crush it in life and business, just head on over to bookwithtim.com, where I've put together a free case study which shows you how to unlock unprecedented freedom today by using the 2 power levers. Just head on over to bookwithtim.com. Until next time, wishing you success and freedom in your business. Cheers.